Hey, what's up? This is Frank Mandolini of the Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for checking this video and make sure to leave a thumbs up below. And in the description, you will find the link to follow me on all social media and on Spotify and Apple Podcast, which conveniently is the place where you should leave a 5-star review to help other people get into this wonderful podcast named Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much. Enjoy the video. Holidead, welcome to the Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm alive. I'm kicking, so that's a good thing. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
And I see that you're repping the Super Kicks merch. That's
yes,
great.
Yes.
That's great. Big shout out to my guys at Super Kicks.
Absolutely.
Unch and JB. Yeah. Did you get the chance to talk with them?
This is gonna be terrible. I don't remember. I feel like we have, but this is bad. I don't remember. I feel like we have, but I could be lying. I don't. I want to say yes, but very bad on my part if I don't remember. Great people though. Great people. We have talked in some kind of way. I don't remember what way it is.
Yeah, they have an amazing show called the Ringsiders Podcast. So here's a cheap plug. Here's a cheap plug for them.
I have. We have talked. You're right.
Okay. Only that. I mean, the whole wrestling world is buzzing about Holidead lately. What happened? Have you been surprised by the outpour of love that at least on Twitter I had the chance to see for you?
I'm gonna say yes. Very surprised, but very much appreciative, especially when it comes from a lot of your colleagues, like just in the business, like fans supporting us is cool, but like knowing that, your fellow worker, like they appreciate what you do and want to see more for you and more growth for you, like that. I don't know if this is PG, but that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking cool.
No, you can swear how much you want. In fact, I had the chance to speak with Simbodi a couple of weeks ago, and basically at the end of the interview, I was teaching him how to swear in Italian. So that's
yeah, sounds about right. But just back to your question, just in the business in general, it's not a lot that you see other workers like. There's a lot of backstabbing and a lot of shitty shit that goes on in this business. So like to see workers like, pull for one another, like it did come out of nowhere. So I'm just like, oh, this is fucking cool. Like people actually appreciate what I'm doing out here. It's not for fucking nothing. And that's what it feels like. Cause I feel like I want to quit all the time. So just like shit like that, it does help you keep going and moving. Like, okay, maybe I do have a little left and let me stick around and see what happens,
Yeah, I get that. I don't know what started it, but I've seen like a few friends of mine saying something like, "Okay, just sign Holidead, and you have to check her. She's amazing." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I agree. I agree with that." But I don't know if there was like something like some match in particular that started it. I have no idea, but I like the message and I totally fully support it. So, as of lately, we've seen you on Mission Pro Wrestling, among other places, as a commentator as well. First of all, great attire that you have, the great bow tie.
I try to stay snazzy, dress the part,
Was it the first time that you were working as a commentator as well?
Well, when Mission Pro started and like shifted, when the whole Me Too movement came out, Thunder Rosa decided to shift Mission Pro and she wanted a safe place for women. So she changed it to all women, promoters, commentators, everything. And I just reached out to her as a joke. I mean, like, it's my best friend. So I was like, anything you need for help. And she put like some post on Facebook and I was like, I just randomly joked. I was like, hey, if you need a commentator, I'm here. And then like, I later seriously reached out to her husband. Like, if you guys need help, let me know. She's like, oh yeah, Thunder has you down for a commentary. I was like, oh, all right, I guess I'm doing this. This is happening. So from that first show, that was my commentator debut. But I figured I was there to do color commentary and not, the play-by-play. So along with Brittany Nicole, who's excellent, like it was kind of just a match made in heaven. Like we just automatically clicked off each other and just like
Yeah.
was going back and forth like that energy. Like her husband Brian like asked a couple times like, how did you guys come up with this or that? We're like, we didn't come up with anything. We were just going. We were just feeding back off each other, and so it just kind of worked. It's different, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, you just click together, and that's amazing how when it happens. As much
Mhm.
when that happens in the ring, when it happens on
Absolutely.
commentary, it's all it always increases the fun for us as viewers. So
Right.
yeah, you did a terrific job actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
I,
I was
I,
trying. I'm like, I don't want to be crap because, like, I mean, I've watched some shows and like bad commentary can definitely take away from what's happening in the ring. So it's like,
yep.
I never wanted to be that, but I mean, like, people have not to say we're anywhere near that, but people have done the comparison of like me and Brittany Nicole to Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla
And Gorilla
Monsoon.
Monsoon.
I was like, oh, thank you. Like that's an honor. Like that's great. I'd love to be compared to those two. That's that's commentary royalty. So I'll take it. Sure.
What was going through your mind when before that first Mission Pro show when you knew that you had to do this debut as a commentary? Was it any different from when you have to perform as a wrestler?
Absolutely. Because I mean, as a wrestler, you just come do your match and that's good. It's like okay, as a commentator, it was weird for me like to sit down an entire show and I'm just watching and not participating. So like, I mean, like that is still weird for me. Like being in that mindset of like, especially like Mission Pro, I feel like they have a lot of good matches. So for me, sitting there seeing good match after good match, it's like crap. I want to put on my stuff and like be out there. This is hard. Let me sit down and calm down. But I mean, just like a match, you got to do your homework. You want to know the wrestlers that you're talking about. Like you want to put them over. That's part of the commentary. Like talk a little bit about their past. So there's some homework to do. I mean, I usually do mine the day of. Shout out to Brittany Nicole. She comes with her whole list of everything. The day of the show, I'm bugging the wrestlers like, all right, give me your spiel. What's this? What's this? Yeah.
You have a more of a like go with the flow attitude towards it.
Absolutely. It's like I mean, I never know what I'm doing at Mission Pro. Like again, this is my best friend's company, so like it's like I'm there and I'm down for whatever. Usually when I come into town, Thunder's like, all right, be ready by this time. We're going to pick up so and so. Be ready by this time. Doing this. I'm like, okay, I don't know. And people are asking me what's going on. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a commentator here. People come to me and like they're like, what's this? This. I'm like, I just work here. I don't know. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever you guys need me to do. Even the first show, like I ended up wrestling on the pre-show. They came to me randomly and was like, hey, we need someone. Will you work with Jasmine Allure? And I'm like, all right, let me go put my gear on. So went and wrestled, and was like, all right, let me change, get my snazzy bow tie, and it's like, so I'm just always prepared for whatever. I never know what's gonna happen, but it's always a good time, so I can't complain.
Yeah, and as they say, always bring your gear to to a wrestling event, right? And in that
Right.
case, always bring your bow tie. So,
Yes, both always. Like I'll mess with Thunder Rosa like the day before, and I was like, "Do you need me to bring my gear?" It's like I'm just commentating. She's like, "No, bring your gear." I'm like, "I'm not wrestling." She's like, "Bring your gear," and I'm like, "All right, let me bring my gear." So I'm so always ready.
I want to know your friendship with Thunder Rosa. Did it start because of wrestling, or you met even before?
No, we actually met through wrestling. So wrestling brought us together. It was like right before I went to Japan my first time in 2015. Like I
Mhm.
had just left my wrestling school and I was just starting to break out to the indies and we were scheduled to have a match. We didn't know each other. And she reached out to me on Messenger. It was like, hey, I'm looking forward to working with you. It's gonna be great. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I don't know her, whatever. And then I got the opportunity to go to Japan, so the match got scrapped. And she was like one of the first people that reached out to me. It was like, hey, congrats. I know you're gonna kill it over there. If you have any questions, whatever, let me know. And I'm like, oh, this chick is really nice. This is cool. And like I did reach out to her like over there, just asking about some places to go. And then I think like the first time I got back, like she was one of the first people I saw. Again, I don't know her. And she's just asking me how was everything. And then we got booked to work on a match. And then like it became some kind of effect. Like we just kept getting booked to work each other, like match after match after match. And like the very first match, it's kind of that thing with Brittany Nicole, like where we just clicked, like in the ring, everything was just like there.
Yeah.
And we're both people like shout out to British Strong Style because we fucking go. Like there's too many people in wrestling that complain about getting hit, even though you're wrestlers, but whatever.
Yeah.
We know how to work safe and we work snug and like that's the way we were trained. And so like the first match we beat the crap out of each other. And at the end of the match, it was like oh, that was fucking awesome. That was great. Blah, blah, blah. And this friendship built out of us beating the shit out of each other. And here we are.
Yeah, you brought out the intensity out of each other. Let's say.
Yes, yes, yes,
Let,
yes.
let's say.
And we loved it.
Well, that and when did the tag team as Twisted Sisters started?
uh,
Was it long after that?
so I went to Japan the first time in the end of 2015, then came back in 2016. And then 2000, the early part of 2016, I think that's like when we just started having matches against each other back to back to back.
Yeah.
And when we went to Japan separately, and we both originally joined this group called Oedo Tai. It's a heel faction.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we would fight each other in the States, we would always like promote it like sister versus sister.
Yeah.
And so just one day we were sitting down eating with her husband, and he was like, "Man, you guys are always fighting. Like, why don't you just guys make a team and call it the Twisted Sisters? Because you're always fighting." And we were like, like it was his brainchild. He was like, "Yeah, do half your face paint, half hers," and we're like, we should do that. So shout out to her husband, Brian Cervantes. We call him the creator because he's the creator of the Twisted Sisters. He decided like, stop fighting each other, fight other people, mix your gimmick, her gimmick. And it was just like, we should do that. So like somewhere maybe in the summer 2016, the Twisted Sisters were created. And I mean, like, it's great when you have like a natural friendship, and just because like so many times tag teams are just kind of forced together, and it's just like, it's the worst to have to be stuck with somebody you don't want to fucking tag with. But like, if you ask her, she'll say we have a marriage. I'm her wrestling wife. She's my wrestling wife. So it was just, again, like from a natural friendship, just to making the tag, it all came together.
Oh yeah, that's such a great story of Brian to be the one who created
He's the creator. We call him the creator. Legit. He in one like 2 sentences he said, "Stop fighting each other. Maybe you guys be a tag. Call it the Twisted Sisters. Have her face paint." And we're just like, "Oh, that's great. Let's fucking do that."
Listen, we've seen a lot of Thunder Rosa lately before in like places like Lucha Underground, then NWA Power. Now she's a prominent feature in AEW. Like, is there any time that you see her compete in this kind of environments? Is that a part of you that says something like, "Man, I would like to tag with her in this like ring," and or against a specific opponent that you will want to tangle with?
Absolutely. Wrestling is something I love, and I mean, I've said it before. I just want the opportunity to like perform on high level, consistent platforms and just show motherfuckers what the fuck I can do. I'd love to go in NWA or AEW and tag with her. Unfortunately, that the powers that be, that's people that make those decisions, and I might not be what people are looking for or what they want. Like I don't have those answers, honestly. Like people ask, why aren't you here? Why aren't you here? Like, again, I would love to work on these various platforms. I feel like, not to brag or my ego, but I feel like I can fucking go with the best of the best, and I can prove that if just given the opportunity. But for whatever reason, the powers that be are not a fan of me. So I like, there's only so much I can do there, and I appreciate you guys like tweeting out and stuff and showing your support. But again, like if the heads of the heads don't want you in the door, and the door is closed, and you're just like, all right, I'll keep trying. And as long as my body holds out, I'll be here and I'll keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been any contact with any major promotion?
So okay, I want to word this right since I'm still in the business and I don't want to bury my fucking self. But I'm not signed anywhere. But this is my job. Like, this is what pays my bills. So I reach out to companies as this is a job. I've been in contact with a good majority of these major promotions that are on their, have these platforms, and some of them have said I'm not, they're looking for something different. I'm not, or some of them have said I have the right look, I can work. It's a matter of timing. I've heard for years, it's a matter of timing, and I'm just like, okay, all right, this is not my time. I don't know if I bumped into somebody, spilled their coffee. I'm not friends with the mean girls. Like it's honestly like shit like that. I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm trying to, keep a positive face, like, again, like you said, the Twitter outpour, that is something that it touched me. And it's like, okay, maybe I should stick around for a while. I've contemplated quitting a whole lot of times in wrestling. I just want to say you'll never hear me give a retirement speech. If you stop seeing me show up places, I quit. I'm not gonna make a announcement for retirement because people do that and they come back. But I have no
Yeah.
plans of making an announcement. If you just stop seeing me show up places, I'm done. But no, I reach out to companies as this is my job, and it's on them whether they see something they want to do with me or not. And you know, yeah, I don't know what else to say there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I see that. On your on your Twitter bio, the first sentence is self-made international pro wrestler. What does it mean to you?
It fucking means I fucking did this shit. Like I'm not second generation. I'm not some top guy's girlfriend who they're pushing that doesn't deserve a push. I'm not friends or besties with the people that are fucking running the company because that shit happens in our business too much. There's people that they date the right person, they don't go to fucking training, but this is my girl, I'm a top guy, let's put her up. I'm not gonna tell her to go to training and make herself better. I'm just gonna put her on this pedestal and let her look like
Mhm.
shit. And then she's gonna have her friends who don't do the same thing. They don't train. She's gonna bring them along. But then you got the motherfuckers that like not just myself, but other motherfuckers that are out here working, like putting in this grind, putting this work for some reason, like getting slept on. Like they have to they have to do the work from ground up. Like I didn't I never had a hand or somebody to fucking pull me along. Like I mean Thunder Rosa is another good example of like self-made and she's fucking doing it on these platforms. And like I've seen so many people try to like shut doors on her and like shit on her for her success. And like people will get mad at that you're successful without their help and they'll just start getting jealous and try to tear you down. Like I've done this on my own. I'm still doing this on my own. I appreciate, all like my fellow workers and fans that are supporting me, but like again, I'm not in that position of I'm not dating the top guy. I'm not sucking somebody's whatever, I'm not kissing ass like and that shit. And like I always say Triple H's song, like it's the biggest rib ever. It's all about the game and how you play it. That shit is so fucking real. Like it is like when he did that song, I feel like the guys in the back had to be listening like this motherfucker. It's all about the game and how you play it. Cause he did that shit. Like, fucking married the boss's daughter. He's fucking like one a CEO of the company. Like it is all about the game and how you play it. Like and politics are a big part in this business. They can help you go further a lot faster. And that's just not something I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell that. I hear that you're a super genuine person. It's not
Oh,
not.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great compliment, at least by me, yeah, according to me.
But
Uh,
the thing is, nice people don't always finish on top in this business. That's the fucked up part. Sometimes you like. I feel like wrestling has taught me that I feel like there's no such thing as karma. Professional wrestling has taught me there's no such thing as karma because I see shitty people, time and time again prevail in this business by doing shitty shit, and it's just like karma does not exist. And every now and then I'll see a good person. Like again, I'll always use like Mercedes Martinez, Eddie Kingston, like those people as examples of like have always been true to themselves. They never kissed any ass. They did it their way,
yeah,
and they are finally where the fuck they should have been long ago. But like they probably could have got where they wanted to be a long time ago if they would have kissed some ass and stuff. But they always stayed true to themselves. So that I feel like there are spaces for the nice guy to make it, but the margin is short.
yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. I don't know. I'm an optimistic person, so I try to believe in the grind at least. But
Ah, bless your heart. Bless your heart.
listen, but a part of you being a self-made international superstar is that you've competed in many places, even in Europe. You've been featured quite heavily in the latest years, and you are one of the few people that I had the pleasure to talk to in this podcast that I already know the answer to the question: have you ever wrestled in Italy?
I have wrestled in Italy. Shout out to my peoples at Rising Sun Wrestling. That's where I actually made my Italy wrestling debut and actually got to be a part of the first ever female women's main event in Italian wrestling history. Like, how
Yeah,
dope is it? Like, how dope.
yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing match with Ivy slash Joki. Depends
Yes,
how
yes.
how
Shout
you
out to
want to
Jokey.
call her.
Shout out
And
to Jokey. Much
yeah,
love.
oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to her. had the chance to talk with her, and she's an amazing person. And she spoke for about like 10 minutes about the match that you two had
Oh,
had
oh,
on that night.
oh. Thank
What's
you. I'm touched. I'm touched.
what's your
No,
what's your
I thought,
recollection of that?
uh,
Of the whole experience, not just the match, just
okay,
just
okay.
landing in Italy and everything.
Well, so that was actually my first European debut. Like that was the first time I was in Europe ever to wrestle.
Uh-huh.
I got in the day before. Uh, and like it was hard. Just like I think I was there like in Europe for 10 days, like
Mm-hmm.
7 days maybe. I had 3 bookings, and like this was like my first European tour. Like I reached out to like hundreds of companies just trying to get bookings, and it was like 3 people responded back, and I'm like, huh, okay. But that but that was the start of getting the ball rolling. And like Rising Sun, they were one of the people that work like will work with you. Let's make something happen or whatever. And I got there the day before. I met one of the wrestlers on Instagram, just kind of, you random whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, you're going to be in town. If you want me to show you around, I'm like, please, thank you. Like I got there, trying to meet up with somebody, reading signs, not knowing where the fuck I'm going. Uh, Mikolai Kanter, I don't know if that's his gimmick name. I don't think that's his gimmick name, but I'll have to figure it out. But I got on a train. I met him. Thankfully, I found out where I was going. We met at some like center place where it's like a touristy place, but for me it was like, this is great. He bought me some bread. You guys have a lot of bread.
Oh yeah, yeah, we do.
This one had like some meat in it or something, so it was great. It was cool. And then I had to go meet up with the promoter, so he's like, get on this train, get off here. And I'm like, okay. I got on one train, then I think I got to another. When I got off, the police were there and they were like looking at tickets. And apparently I was supposed to, so I didn't do something. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't speak English. Do you speak English? I'm sorry. And they're like, hey, either you have to pay, you were supposed to get off. And I'm like, can I go back? And they're like, no, you can't do that. You either have to pay like this $100 fine or we take your passport. And I'm just like,
oh.
right. It was one of those things where they had the machine ready there. And I'm just like, all right, just take my credit card. And I
Yeah.
still had to find the promoter. And so I put in my Google Maps and I'm like, let me just walk the rest of the way. It was like a 5-minute walk, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Found the venue, so everything turned out all right. Shout out to the promoter. His mom made me my very first authentic Italian lasagna.
Oh.
And oh my God. Like it was like American lasagna, like, no, never again. It's trash. It's trash. Like
no,
that.
it's not the same. Not the same.
No,
actually.
no, it's not the same wavelength at all. It's like
You see
was
that
like
that's why we get mad when we talk about food, because in Italy we have to protect this tradition.
No, I get it. I understand now. And it was like, okay, this is the Mecca, the Holy Grail. Like this is lasagna. Whatever we've been eating, no. But you guys eat, because his mom made like a whole, like this is the day of the show. His mom made a full fucking spread, and it was just like course after course after course. And I'm like, we gotta wrestle. Like, okay. It's like, she finished one plate, she's coming with a whole new dish of other stuff. And I'm like, okay, you guys really do. You eat. You don't fuck around.
No, not at all. Not at all. Every day is like a 2 to 3 course meal.
Yes.
2 to 3 times a day.
It was very shocking. So that to me is like, oh man, you guys eat, and a lot of carbs too.
Yeah.
Don't want to pack on the pounds. Like, but not before you wrestle too. That many carbs, but no, the food was great. Like we got to the venue, like everybody was cool, like all the workers. I actually met an old friend over there, Filippo. He's a referee. He actually came to the United States for a couple months and trained at the school where I was at, like because he wanted to. Yes, and like and he outworked a lot of the fucking wrestlers. It was like we remembered him because like he was in training doing the stuff like they don't require the referees, but he was in there, and it's like you're legit. You're that guy. So it was good to see him. Met up with him. Jokey, like we talked. She was cool. Like we did a lot of stuff. Like I felt like everything in the match flowed. It was great. I felt like the crowd responded to it well. It was like my first time in Italy and Europe, and I get to be a part of you guys' wrestling history. Like, don't even fucking know me from like a can of soup or whatever. Like this is like I'm honored. Like, thank you guys, and like let's go out here and put on a fucking show. And we did, and we always talk about like one day we gotta, whether we run it back, do tag team or something, we gotta share a ring again. Hopefully one of these days.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will absolutely love to see that to see that come.
Yes,
And
yes,
I'm sure that Joki will want to. She,
yes.
yeah, she has really fond memories of that encounter. I-
2022, maybe
yeah,
2022.
yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yes,
crossed.
yes.
And I want to know your perspective of it, because there is really so not so many wrestlers that, especially from the United States, that get to wrestle in Italy. So what was your perspective? I don't know, maybe some differences that you may have spotted back then or something like that.
For me, in general, like anytime I'm in Europe, for me, it's just so welcoming, and like I feel like
Mhm.
that's for me in the States, that's not always the case. Like
Okay.
for whatever reason, like that's like again, I've said this 1,000 times. I feel more welcome over in Europe as a wrestler than I do in the United States. Like I mean, I'm sure there are egos everywhere, but like I feel more in the States. You come to locker rooms, motherfuckers don't say hi. It's like I'm too big for my britches. Like it's like fuck you guys. Like this is a great welcoming
Yeah, yeah.
environment.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
Right? Yes. Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
but no, I mean, like it was. I felt like it was all love when I came in the building. Like from the workers, from everybody, it was. It was nobody has an ego. Nobody's like, who's this American? Because people are like that sometimes, you know. And it was never like that. I felt all love, and I don't feel that a lot in wrestling in general. Like from the crowd, from the staff, from just everybody, top to bottom, it was just good vibes, good environment, and it's hard to find that in wrestling locker rooms and venues in general.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can see what you mean. I can see that. And and a question that probably I should have started with this one, but who cares at this point? Uh, I'm intrigued about the origin of Holidead. You see that you're half alive, half dead, and that's for real. What what, what does it mean? I mean, technically speaking, what does it mean that you're?
No, I mean, when I do get asked this question, I always say I wish I had some cool origin story. I
Yeah.
do not. You know, when I was in training, it's like where the school I was at, they were trying to do something with this promotion. They were trying to get like a group together of like some crazy individuals face painted, and it was last minute. They're like, we need a girl, so we gotta do something crazy face paint. Can you do it? I'm like, I just want to work. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever. And
Yeah.
it was like, all right, we got a week, put something together, and it was literally random as fuck. Like one of the girls, she helped me like put some face paint together. We cut up a costume, and they came up with the name. Like I would like to take credit for the origin. I cannot. It was very random. It was something that was thrown at me, but at the time, Gangrel, my head trainer, he said,
Hmm.
"This is you have to take this and you have to make it your own." He's always said, "You have to go." He said, "You need to go into your dark side and figure out who Holidead is," and that was something that stuck with me. And so like something that's today, I'll say like Holidead is the Doctor Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like
Yeah.
that's me. Split personality. I say, like like the Doctor Frankenstein, like that's my monster. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
it's that other part of me, and like and going into my dark side, which I do have. You know, I deal with my demons, my mental issues, or whatever. Like, and that's something I had to go dig into, and like, okay, who is Holiday? Like, she
Yeah.
is just this mentally fucked up person who is angry as fuck and draws off like the pain of others, and she's about that violent life, and that's what it is for me. Like, and I say it's like flipping a switch, but it's more like
Hmm.
the old school light dimmers where it turns, turns, turns.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is. Like it's like I'm just me right now. Then like if there's a match time, it's slowly turn, 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 and now we're fucking on. Like the other person is here. The flip has switched. If you've ever seen the original Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the motherfucker's the normal person. Then it's like, okay, he has all this fucking rage and these urges and shit inside him, and he's like, okay, this shit slowly turning up, turning up. This is the real fucking me. Here I am, and
Yeah.
honestly, as time has passed and Holiday has grown, I feel like that is really me. But I can't walk around like that every day, being angry and beating motherfuckers up and having all these issues. So that allows me to deal with my fucking issues. And I feel like wrestlers in general, we all have a lot of issues, and wrestling is a is a coping mechanism. It's a way of therapy, and
Yeah.
that's part of my therapy. Let me get my shit out there.
Yeah.
I say Holiday is who you once you die and you truly become the person you are meant to be. That's who Holiday is.
Oh, okay. Okay, I
If
see.
that makes sense at all. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think I grasp what you mean. Yes.
Okay, all right. If not, let me know. I'll try to explain further.
No, no, no. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Listen, but your character is so unique. Uh, do you have any inspiration and someone that you had to like I don't know, pick the brain off to discover who Holidead is?
I mean, I'll always credit Gangrel. Like
Hmm.
he's always been that person that like he has a dark gimmick and like he lives that shit. Like he's like for fucking real. Like that is him, and he's always been that person that's challenged me. Like you need to go deep inside, really in the fucking dark crevices of your mind, and like
Yeah,
Holiday has to be you. He's always said like whatever you present out to that crowd, it has to be genuine. If it's not, they're gonna feel it, and you will feel it too. And I feel like anytime I go out there, like what I'm presenting is genuine, regardless of whatever new gimmicks come out that may look similar or whatever. Like this is me from my heart, and nobody can fucking do this like me what I'm doing. Period.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
th- that that's a great explanation about it. And
Cool, cool.
now, what do you think will be uh, the next step of your career? Is that anything in particular that you will want to do?
Um, so, with the pandemic,
Yeah,
a
of
lot of
course.
things changed. um, last year when the pandemic started, I was actually in Europe. Like it was at the start of was supposed to be a European tour. I only got to do one show before
Hmm.
shit started happening, and I was like, okay, I gotta get out of the UK for I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
And so of course everything slowed down or whatever. I honestly thought about quitting wrestling last year, just because I put everything into wrestling. Like I didn't I didn't have a regular job. Like wrestling was what brought food on my table. It was my bread and butter. And so for me it was like I put all of my all into wrestling, and I realized how quick shit could be snatched from you
Yeah.
without a care. And like wrestling doesn't care. It's like, oh, you got no more work, you're gonna starve, whatever. Well, what can we do? So I did contemplate quitting wrestling just because it was like uh and just seeing that a lot of these other companies, like so many people were getting opportunities, and it's like, and I wasn't. A lot of it, was making me look like fuck. What am I not doing? Like, what's wrong with me? Why don't these companies want me? And a part of me is just like, fuck it, like leave. Like I'm sacrificing my body. These people don't want me. Yada yada. Uh, but part of the outpour from the wrestling community, like that's a great help. And apparently a lot of my veterans could see my frustration, and this
Hmm.
past year or whatever I've had a lot of heart to heart talks with some of my veterans, and like I won't go into detail of things they told me, just like the
Hmm.
speeches they gave me and stuff they said to me has given me a different perspective to look on as far as like where I'm at in my career and in my wrestling journey.
Yeah.
And so for the time being, I will continue pushing forward or whatever. I mean, I wanted to, I always want to go back to the UK and Europe. I feel like, that's where I get love. I said this, I feel like I'm home there. I thought about if there were to be a chance to go back to the UK this year. I think I might be a little overzealous, seeing as you guys are, stuff is still just opening back up. The U.S. we don't care. We're a shit show, whatever. About the
Yeah.
public safety. They're just like, whatever, do whatever you want, whatever states, we don't care.
Yeah. Pretty
So
much.
yeah, pretty much. Again, I thought about quitting. Then like some bookings have been coming along, so I'm like, all right. It's hard to say right now. Like I'm like, okay, I'll finish out the year, see what my body's looking like. So honestly, right, like right now, like that's the plan. Is like finish out the year with the bookings I have. Like try to keep going strong and just keep doing what the fuck I'm doing. Hopefully, people see, recognize. Hopefully, opportunities come. And again, if my body holds up, then
Hmm.
2022 we can plan for some more. Like if I'm still around in the wrestling scene next year, I definitely like Europe. You motherfuckers are on my list. So you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
If 2020 had panned out the way it was supposed to, I was gonna be in Europe a lot. You motherfuckers gonna have to give me dual citizenship, basically. Like I had like 3 different European tours planned out for 2020, like basically. So,
Oh.
but it didn't happen. 2021 stuff is just now starting to open back up. So I just going along with the flow of things, seeing how the rest of the world opens back up. Only thing I can say for 2022, if I'm still around, Europe is on my list. Beyond that, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Where were you supposed to appear in Europe?
Oh man, okay.
If
Company-wide,
if you can, yeah, if you can disclose this information.
I was supposed to be in the Netherlands. There were a few companies there, different places in the UK. I was actually supposed to go to fucking Nepal in Asia. I know it's not Europe, but
Really?
yes, it was. So like the day I started the tour in March, like I got there the day before, and like Pro Wrestling Eve was the next day. And the day I got in town, I got an email from the company in Asia, and they were like, because of the Corona event, pandemic virus, the government that says it's too many people or whatever. I didn't think too much of it because I'm like, okay, this is in Asia, this is where it started. We're all good. Yeah,
like
we're
we all
good.
did. Yeah, like we all did.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like the next day I did the show at Eve, and then like the following week I was supposed to go to the Netherlands. There were two different companies. I'm sorry if I'm blanking out on them now, but there were two different companies, and like sometime during the week, maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday, they sent me a message like, "Hey, the government's like, we got to shut stuff down," and it's just the Netherlands. So like the rest of the UK was good. And I'm like, oh shit, is it happening? And then like, so I just had a whole week doing nothing. Then the following week, I got another email like from another company I was supposed to work, like, "Hey, we can't do it." And I'm like, oh shit. At this point, like I had one booking left, and I messaged them like, "Hey, are we still good?" And they're like, "We don't have any restrictions. We're good." Da da da. And then like halfway through the week, that company was like, "Yeah, we got to shut everything down." It's like, yeah. So I don't even remember what the original question is.
No worries. The original question was if you add any like specific place that you can name where you were supposed to appear.
The Netherlands, Denmark, Scotland. I was gonna go back to Germany. Various promotions throughout the UK. So, of course, hit up Rising Sun. They're pretty much like if you're in town where we're going, let us know. We'll try to work something out. So yeah. So yeah, it was gonna be fun times, but
Well, I'm super pissed now at coronavirus again because
me too.
Yeah, because that among other terrible stuff, the chance to see again Holidead in Italy would have been a great thing for the whole for Italian wrestling as a whole movement. So yeah,
thank you for saying that. I appreciate that.
Really, fingers crossed for 2022. I
Yes.
I really do mean it. I really do mean it. Well, Holidead, thank you so much for this chat. This has been amazing. Plug all that you can plug. Where can we find your merch? Where can we find you online? Just
for sure. All right. So on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all you gotta do is type in Holidead, HOLIDEAD. That's where you can find me there. On Instagram, it is Holidead and I, one word, the word Holidead, the word and, the word I, all together. Because as I said in my, character, we are one. Holidead and I are one. If you would like to purchase merch, you can go to storefrontier.com/Holidead. Pick up some cool things there. Also have some stuff on Pro Wrestling Tees. And I think those are all the places you can find me online. So do it. Reach out to me. Let's link up. Let's do things while I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure to put everything you just said in the description under this interview.
For sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, that has been amazing. Thank you, really. Thank you for sharing this time with me in this interview. And
no problem.
And can't wait to catch up later on in this life to see where you ended up in 2022. Okay.
Same. Let's see where I end up in this life. Yes, the way you put it, love it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.